What are the differences between each rank in the Fortnite competitive rank system? As you guys know, it goes in the order of bronze, silver, gold, platinum, diamond, elite, champion, and then unreal. Bronze through diamond is going to be having a 1 through 3 ranking system, and then elite, champion, and unreal are going to be their own tiers with just one ranking system. How exactly do each of these ranks differ? How do the players in them differ? And how can you climb through them in each rank? What are the tips you need to know and the stuff you need to get good at for each rank specifically? Those are all questions I'm going to be answering in today's video. So if you guys are interested in learning the answers to that, please stick around till the end of the video. Let's hop right into it. So let's start in obviously bronze. Bronze is pretty much the bottom of the barrel. If you are placed into bronze, you likely did not do very well in your first match. You likely are not a great player, don't have too many account wins, your account history isn't great, and overall your MMR, which is going to be your matchmaking rating, it's not going to be very high, it's going to be pretty low. Now this could mean a couple of different things. You could be either a really new player, somebody who's never really played Fortnite competitively or even at a high level before. You could be somebody who just simply had a very bad game. You could be an okay player, but you had a really bad first game, maybe you died off spawn, and you know, your MMR didn't really go well because you don't have too many wins, maybe you're on a new account. There's a lot of reasons you can be bronze. Bronze is generally where you're going to be finding a lot of the players that are really new, are not great mechanically, and also you're going to be finding a lot of low tier players who have really poor game sense and understanding of how the game actually works. Stuff like rotating dead side, trying to figure out which side is congested, how to W key people properly, that's going to be stuff that not very many people actually know in bronze. So if you guys want to actually climb out of bronze, my recommendation would be to focus on the very basic fundamentals. Focus on getting your editing, building, and overall mechanics really good. Try to hit your shots, prep, maybe aim train if you can. Learn how the zones work, learn where to rotate, learn the best drop spots, try to drop really high kill games once you guys get really good at that stuff. Ideally, bronze is the place where you need to focus on your fundamentals. Obviously, it does get more competitive as you go from bronze 1 to bronze 3. However, realistically, what you guys just need to do is you just need to focus on your fundamentals and just apply yourself, and then overall just keep playing because you're eventually going to climb out of bronze. Now this bumps us up to silver. Silver in and of itself is not a great rank. Obviously, it's going to be a little bit better than bronze. This may be where somebody who had a kind of okay first game maybe placed. However, silver is going to be the place where, yeah, maybe you know how to build and edit, but maybe you just don't know how to piece all this stuff together. You can do edit courses in creative, you can do aim trainers, but you can't do it all together, and you can't really piece it together very well while you're actually trying to fight and trying to win engagements in Fortnite. You might know what dead side is, but you might not know how to get on there every time. You might not understand exactly where players are going to be rotating from your drop spot. The biggest thing that I see in silver, though, is that these players oftentimes don't actually have a set drop spot and somewhere that they're going to be able to consistently do well from. Silver is pretty much, like I said, the bottom of the barrel other than bronze. Obviously, silver is going to be one rank above bronze. This is going to be where sometimes players are a little bit more experienced. They actually know how to work around the inner workings of the game. They maybe can hit a few more shots. They're mechanically a little bit better, but still it's not much of an improvement. So what I'd recommend for silver is, guys, focus on your mechanical and game sense fundamentals. You need to be your own IGL in a sense. You need to kind of teach yourself how to actually improve. My recommendation would be to do stuff like realistic 1v1s in creative. Obviously, play tons of normal ranked games. That's going to get you up there. And of course, guys, watch pro players play ranked. Watch them just play different, pub games, ranked games, whatever it may be. If you guys watch them, you're going to pick up on some things that'll help you eventually climb out of silver. After silver, guys, we get to gold. Gold is where most of the players in Fortnite competitive actually lie. I believe it's the highest density population in terms of how many players are actually going to be in gold. So this is going to be kind of the average tier. If you're in bronze and silver, you're a little bit below average, but then if you're in gold, you're the average competitive player. There's going to be people that are playing Cash Cup Opens, getting 7,000, 8,000, 9,000, people who are not doing great in these Cash Cup Opens, people who are really not placing very highly, maybe they'll place around 10th, maybe 20th in these gold games. And a lot of people can think that this is kind of like almost an elo hell. People might be really stuck in gold for a while, especially if they're not very experienced, but you may have a pretty good grasp on the fundamentals if you're in gold. So now let's get into what you can actually do to focus on improving and climbing out of gold after that. After you guys have a solid grasp of your fundamentals, I think the main thing that you need to start doing is focus on how to rotate and how to rotate to a place where you can get not only eliminations, but also survive. Now, this is going to be kind of a hybrid playstyle. I've talked about W key playstyles and passive playstyles, guys. You need to understand, based on your lobby, what's the right thing to do. Most of the time in these ranked games, they're not going to be that stacked, so the realistic best thing to do is to try to play hybrid. Get eliminations when you have a good opportunity to actually secure them. This means that if you damage somebody, or maybe you see somebody that's out of position, you can W key them and you can try to win those fights, and most of the time you will if you have the competitive advantage. If you guys are able to do that, not only will you guys continue to survive because you're probably not going to be taking very low intelligence fights, you're going to be trying to take high intelligence fights and really smart ones. And then you guys will be able to place highly and get a lot of kills, which ideally will climb you out of gold. So the overall summary of what I'm trying to say for gold, this is really important for you gold players. Focus on understanding the hybrid playstyle. When to W key, how to win those fights with a competitive advantage, and trying to stay alive till the end of the game in order to get placement points. Now guys, let's move up into Platinum. Platinum is the second highest spread of players. This is where there's going to be players that may have been playing for a little bit longer, players who have a pretty good grasp of fundamentals, that have kind of understood the hybrid W key and passive playstyles and how to differentiate them. Platinum is where a lot of pro players, especially if they do not great in their first game, will actually get placed and then they'll have to climb out of it. It is a little bit irritating, yes. However, I think that ideally Platinum is the place where you got to start excelling and kind of trying to break that barrier into that really good amateur and then eventually into that semi-pro and then pro status in the higher ranks. So Platinum, in my opinion, is kind of like a wall. A lot of players hit Platinum and they're like, damn, I can't get out of this. My recommendation for Platinum, guys, it's very simple. I think that the smartest thing to do is to just focus on understanding when you need to W key in these games. Let's say that you have a game with very few people and you're really hot, your mechanics are feeling great, everything's feeling great. You need to take that momentum and focus on getting a high elimination win. This is where you should start understanding how to secure wins, how to actually pop off and get a lot of eliminations in a row, get really good at W key. And then if you guys are doing the passive playstyle, understand how to rotate. This is where you should start understanding how to find the dead side of zone, how to find the congested side of zone, where you guys can rotate, different rotation methods, different POIs in different ways that people are able to actually benefit from POIs. This is the place where I think you guys should start focusing on alphaing up POIs, learning how to play them, and trying to get medallions and other beneficial things that certain POIs have. Ideally, Platinum is the place where I think you guys need to start breaking that barrier and to start being a really good player. And then obviously the next rank is going to be Diamond. In Diamond, guys, it's very interesting because Diamond is kind of where you're at that weird status. A lot of pro players that aren't actually very invested in ranked, they'll actually get placed in Diamond and they'll actually stay there if they're not very invested in playing ranked. Diamond, guys, is where you could either be fighting a really, really good player or you could be fighting really, really trash players. Now, if you're in the lower parts of Diamond, obviously you're going to not be fighting as good players. But the most important thing, in my opinion, for actually playing competitive, especially in the ranked game mode, is that in Diamond, guys, you need to start doing really, really high level things. This means polishing up your mechanics, getting really competitive at piece control, fighting, learning how to play defensive fights, learning how to take peeks. You guys need to master box fighting, free building, build fighting. All that stuff is extremely important. Your aim at this point should pretty much be at an all-time high, and then it should continue out throughout the higher ranks as well. Basically, what I'm saying is that everything from the previous 4 ranks, guys, what you need to do is polish that and improve it by at least 10%. So get 10% better at rotating, fighting, mechanics, aim, game sense, all that stuff. You need to start polishing that off. It needs to be razor sharp. It's like if you have a pencil and you need to kind of try and sharpen it and it's kind of a blunt edge. That's kind of the analogy that I use. Your edge when you're actually playing the first 4 ranks, it's going to be kind of blunt. And then once you get to Diamond, you need to start sharpening it. You need to start improving all of your skills at a high level. Then, guys, we get into Elite. In my opinion, Elite is the rank in which once you're at Elite, you're pretty much considered a good player. Anybody ranging from high-level pros to very bad players could say, hey, listen, this guy's a good player. He's in Elite. He actually has great mechanics. He knows how to rotate. He knows how to work a game. In this case, guys, getting out of Elite is a little bit tough sometimes because the players here are actually quite competitive. And especially the players that are playing ranked, what you need to kind of do, guys, is you need to kind of start watching the high-level pros, VOD reviewing high-level pros, watching extremely advanced tips and tricks videos on exactly how the pros are able to win fights. You have to kind of do that extra 10% that nobody else is doing because everybody else in Elite is pretty sound in their mechanical skill and their game sense knowledge. Yes, don't get me wrong, there could be 1 or 2 people that kind of get by and that are able to actually make it to Elite without having a great understanding of game sense and other basic competitive attributes. However, in general, Elite is the point where you guys need to start kind of doing extremely high-level play. Diamond, yes, you need to sharpen all of your skills. In this circumstance, you kind of need to perfect all of them in order if you guys want to get to Champion. This brings me to Champion, guys. Champion, in my opinion, is pretty much the same as Unreal. Champion and Unreal, I kind of group together because in my opinion, once you're at this level, you're kind of one of the best players in the ranked system. Obviously, very few people are going to be in Champion and Unreal. So once you get to this point, pretty much all you need to keep doing is playing. You guys need to be consistent with your play. You need to practice quite often. And honestly, try to play ranked. Don't tilt. Please don't play a bunch of ranked games and you lose a couple of them and then keep playing because eventually you're going to tilt and you're going to fall out of the Champion division. Like I said, guys, this is where you need to start perfecting your actual skills. You need to start pretty much playing like a pro. It's not that complicated when you get to Champion. It's just that you need to start excelling past that level. And at this point, you're probably making the later rounds of FNCS. You're probably making it to a couple of round 2s in Cash Cups. What's important when you're here is that you guys are logical and you guys are thinking about how to play the game from a competitive standpoint using all the stuff you learned in the previous ranks and then trying to excel past that pro player level, kind of going into those high level discussions of how to play the game. and obviously guys, then we'd reach Unreal. I don't really have too much advice for Unreal, obviously, because it is the highest rank. Once you're here, you are pretty much solidified as one of the best players in the competitive system. Obviously, people can say that there are different issues and getting to Unreal isn't that hard. However, what you need to understand is that for the common player, for somebody who's only been playing Fortnite competitive, not very seriously for not that long, it's actually a big accomplishment to get to Unreal. So I think it's really important that you guys focus all of your attention on trying to climb through this rank system, because not only will you pay off in your ability to actually say that you are an Unreal rank, but it will also pay off in your tournaments and competitive Fortnite success, and hopefully you guys can start making some money from it. Guys, that is my video going over a comprehensive review of all the ranks. I hope you guys did enjoy. I think that it's pretty interesting and it's very actually niche, except it's also kind of focused on what each rank needs. I hope to see you guys all in the next video, because I'm excited to see what I'm going to be doing after this FNCS ends, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye, guys.